Okay, this is the cat who's responsible for being the FBI informant for in regards to Marcus Garvey. So when Marcus Garvey ended up getting arrested and getting sent to the prison in Atlanta, and his whole empire, everything he was building fell apart, it was because the FBI had an informant, and he was known as Agent 008. Agent 008. So when Ian Fleming, who was in Jamaica when he wrote this, he wrote when he was penning James Bond, he ended up creating 007. And the reason why he ended up naming it 007, because that was one before 008. And a way to like verify that as the fact, that is exactly where Marcus Garvey was from. He was from Jamaica. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you want to understand where the money leads in this whole situation, believe it or not, James Bond will reveal to you everything that's going on right now. All right. So we know who about James Bond. He's the most recent James Bond. There's actually one that's supposed to be coming out this year. And in the trailer, there's a scene where, of course, the world is, in turmoil, and they're like, okay, what is the bad guy trying to do? And they're like, a nuclear explosion, like a nuke. And they're like, no, worse. And the last time I've heard that line was when Bill Gates came out in 2015 talking about most people think the end of the world is going to be this and showed a nuclear explosion. But he was like, no, it's going to be more like this. And he showed the coronavirus. All right. So I'm assuming that in the next James Bond, they're going to be talking about this. But if you pay attention to the basic structure of James Bond, you're going to be able to follow the money. So this character right here, played by Judi Dench, who knows the name of this character? Let me look in the chat and see if anybody gonna name the name. Does anybody know who this character is? Anybody?
Should we give away hints? Nobody knows nobody knows 00. Oh, okay.
There we go. Finally, appreciate it. Okay, I didn't want to give it away. So yeah, she's played by the character M, right? So they're like the MI6, and these are the alphabet boys over there in Europe. Now, we make a huge mistake thinking that with the whole American Revolution and everything that went on, that there was a separation between the United States and Britain. And no, no, like don't believe the hype. Okay. They still are in control. They're still behind the scenes. You know that because of the Beatles coming over there. You know that because of the fact that all of the actors that we see right now in all the black films, they're all British actors. Harriet Tubman was played by a British woman. And my thing is, if British actors are more refined and they know how to really get in character, then why are they picking roles where they're speaking with American accents? Like, shouldn't they be speaking British accents? I'm just saying. So this character right here is M. What people don't know is M is a real person. And I made sure I copied and pasted from Wikipedia because I want y'all to be able to do some real easy research. I'm showing y'all how these folks show you all the bullshit they doing right in your face. And because you don't know how to follow the yellow brick road, you don't know what's going on. So this is Eliza Manningham Buller, who was the head of MI6. Okay. And she was referred to as M. All right. It says she was a director general of MI5, MI6, all of them joints over there. But she was a director. All right. And this is her. Y'all can write her name down. You can look her up. All right. Now, the other character that was in James Bond. Why does anybody watch James Bond? Why did you watch James Bond, Inky? Come on, simple, man. Come on, be simple now. What's the main reason folks watch a Bond movie? Come on,
man. You know that's impossible for me to just give a simple, easy.
It is simple though. It's so simple.
No, because people watch.
There we go. Look in the chat. Look what Emir Drills just said.
No, some people watch for the women.
What?
Some people watch James Bond.
They don't even have no women in James Bond movies like that. Not for us.
I ain't say for us. I said some people.
But I'm asking you. Are you watching for the women, Iggy?
I mean, I mean,
there ain't a lot of black women in James Bond movies. You gotta be careful, bro, what you say.
He was definitely in James Bond.
Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and take seniority on this because I deal with breaking down movies.
What about people that watch for the sophisticated action?
Nah, bro, no. People watch James Bond for the tech and the gadgets because James Bond got toys like Batman. You're gonna see the iPhone in the 1960s when you watch a James Bond movie. You know what I'm saying? People want to see the new car. They want to see what machine guns and shit gonna pop out that car. They want to see the new communication device. They want to see the new guns, the new shit he could fly off a building with. It's all about the gadgets. Now, who's the name of the cat who does all the gadgets in James Bond? Come on, y'all. This is an interactive event here.
This one is easy. Somebody got it wrong earlier for M and put Q.
And you just gave it away.
I know, my bad.
All right, so Q. All right, so that's the character who's on the screen now. This is the new Q. So every time James Bond is met with, whatever mission that he's given, he goes to see Q. M suggests he goes to see Q because Q has all the gadgets and all the technology. But we never really ask ourselves, how do we get the technology like that? Because it's never just Q. It's always a group of scientists.
Hold on.
Huh?
What is this new thing that's going on right now? I've been seeing it.
What?
And I'm elbow cough. What's up with elbow cough?
Oh, this the probably dabbing.
Yo, what is that? Is that
the
coronavirus era shit?
That's the dab. So you would see all these scientists.
Wait. I'm sorry. So that is the dab of the coronavirus era? Is the elbow cough? Is the dab?
Inky, you messing up my thought, bro. We following the money. Who cares about a goddamn elbow cough right now, bro? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the elbow cough. So listen, when these cats would be in the warehouse or whatever, and they building on some new technology, it'd be a whole group of scientists. So Q wasn't the guy making the gadgets. He was just the guy that had the finalized prototype, you know what I'm saying, to pass off to James Bond. And what it showed in James Bond with Q being there was the fact that they were stealing patents. They were patent thieves. Q is a patent thief. All them scientists is patent thieves. These cats were stealing other people's inventions, and they were stealing other people's technology and, taking it and giving it off to James Bond. So first we got the M character. Now we got the Q character. I showed you the real M. Now I'm going to show you the real Q. This is the real Q. Okay. This is a corporation over in Europe called Kinetic. And look at how they spell the word kinetic. It starts with a Q and it ends with a Q, and more than likely they're nicknamed Q. And what are they known for? They known for stealing patents. That's what they do. They got mad contracts over in the US, mad contracts over there in Europe. And what they do is there's something called patent pools. So like when there's a real complex creation, when there's a real complex invention that has different components from different people that made it, they have a patent pool. You know what I'm saying? So this is a situation where these individuals right here take a whole lot of patents and then they flip it. So we got Q, right? Now, let's go back to M and the original M. Not only was she the director of MI5, but she was also the director of Muriel. Now I know y'all like, what is Muriel? Y'all don't even know what Muriel is. Let me show y'all Muriel real quick.
Muriel rhymes with cereal.
Yeah. Now what is Muriel known for? Muriel is a multinational animal health company. Animal health company. Okay, so Muriel produces many products and vaccines for domestic pets, farm animals, and wildlife. Muriel has about 6,900 employees, and at present is more than 150 countries in the world. Their sales in 2015 were about 2.5 billion. Some of Muriel's most popular products are Frontline, HeartGuard, NextGuard, Ivomec, PureVax, and Prevocox. Now, what if I told you that M went from being the director of MI5 to being the head of Muriel? Why would a director of MI5 now be the head of an animal health and vaccination company? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself that question. So, Muriel is also associated with Pirbright Institute. Now, I know y'all know about Pirbright Institute by now, because Pirbright Institute is the institute where you find the patent for coronavirus. And the Pirbright Institute got about 17 or 18 patents on the coronavirus. Now, have you ever heard the word Pirbright before? I don't know if y'all ever heard the word Pirbright before. Well, let me show you where Pirbright comes from. Before I even get into that, let me tell you what Pirbright Institute say. Pirbright Institute is a research institute in England dedicated to the study of what? Infectious diseases of farm animals. So we got Muriel, right? That deals with not infectious diseases, but deals with vaccines and food products and the health of farm animals and domestic animals. Now we got the Pirbright Institute, who patented the coronavirus, that deals with infectious diseases of farm animals. This is why we tell y'all to stop eating that damn meat. Because you wonder why in the Black community or in certain communities, all of a sudden you see this huge outbreak of things. Is because the virus ain't being spread from people coughing on one another. I'm sorry. It's just, no, it ain't that many people coughing on each other and exchanging it like that.
Hold on. Are you attacking the elbow cough again?
If you bring this elbow cough up one more time and interrupt my goddamn thought, I'm Xing you out the live, bro. You're going to be gone. I'll pull you up on the phone or something like that. So if you eating all that meat and you're consuming all that meat, remember that meat, they're farm animals. These farm animals are provided by Muriel. These farm animals are provided by Pirbright Institute. You understand? Now, the word Pirbright, because I put the Pirbright coronavirus patent up on my January coronavirus lecture I did on Patreon. This was 4 months ago. You know, so I've been doing a lot of research since that point. And it's, you know, I got so much information, it's ridiculous. Now, Pirbright, let me show you who Pirbright is, y'all. Y'all are going to be like, what in the hell? No, we ain't going to do Diamond Light Source. Where you at, dude? Where I put you at? Is this it? No. There you go. All right. Now look at this cat's name. I want y'all to look at this cat's name. Henry D. Worms.
So
read that name, Inky.
So hold on. So I'm not going to say. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm gonna just mute my camera because I already know.
Henry de Worms, first Baron, Pirbright. So the same thing you need to do when you eat meat. You gotta deworm yourself. That's his name, bro. And his daddy's name was Solomon. So you got Henry de Worms, Solomon de Worms, Pirbright. Now, his father's name was Solomon, but look at who his grandmother's name was, or Solomon's father's name was. What does that say right there, y'all? In the chat, what we got? What that say? Nobody? Anybody? I'll get some water in the meantime. So
it says the great grandfather was Amschel Rothschild.
And the grandmother was Jeanette Rothschild, which means that, let me see, I could blow it up a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Look, Jeanette Rothschild. Look at all these Rothschild banking industry. Solomon Mayer von Rothschild, Nathan May. These are the Rothschilds. So when you say Pirbright Institute, okay, you're really saying Rothschild Institute. And you got the Rothschilds with an institute with a patent on coronavirus and an institute that's responsible for infectious diseases of farm animals, the same farm animals that you stuff in your mouth, down your throat, and your stomach every day that you can't use the bathroom with. Okay, now it don't end there. It don't end there because you have to fund all this stuff. And that's where the Bill Gates and all that stuff come in with the Gates Foundation. But you have to look at the trust that they all have in common. All right. And that is, like I said, I pulled all this stuff off of Wikipedia so y'all can go ahead behind here and look it up. This is the Wellcome Trust. Okay, Wellcome Trust is a research charity based in London. It was established in 1936 with legacies from the pharmaceutical magnate Sir Henry Wellcome to fund research to improve human and animal health. So this pharmaceutical giant named Sir Henry Wellcome has a research fund set up that all these entities, when we talking about Britain, we know America represents what? The military, right? The Vatican represents what? The religion. We talking about Cerberus, the three-headed dog, right? And then what is London? London represents the bread. So they put all the money in the Wellcome Trust, and the Wellcome Trust is what funds everything. Now, look at what the Wellcome Trust funds. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Biomedical research. So when you go to the Wellcome Trust page and you scroll down, it's going to say biomedical research. And with biomedical research under major investments, look at what they got. Cancer Genome Project, the Diamond Light Source, the UK's National Synchrotron Science Facility, Development Excellence in Leadership, right? Deltas. Then we got the Ebola Emergency Initiative, Diabetes and an Inflammation Laboratory, Structural Genomics Consortium. Look at everything that they got invested in. They got the major overseas programs right here. I want you to look at this Diamond Light Source right here. Diamond Light Source.
Wait. Before you go there, because this keeps popping up and people need to start paying attention to this. Whenever you see Ebola research pop up, know that that is a facility used to research and experiment. It's called chimeric research.
That's right.
Chimeric research is where they actually change the virus. It's like where they make Frankenstein viruses at.
We'll just say that a chimera, when you look at it in mythology, it's similar to like griffins and things like that. It's similar to
It's like mixed animal.
Mixed animal where you'd be like half dragon, half lion, eagle, and it'd be like one entity. So when you hear about a chimeric organism or a chimeric virus or a chimeric this or that, that means that they're taking all these different viruses and putting them together to make like a hodgepodge virus.
Right. And so when you see Ebola anywhere, know that that means it is a RNA facility. And so at RNA facilities where they are looking at Ebola, they are also looking at MERS, SARS, Corona, etc., and all of the other RNA viruses. So just be mindful when you start to see that pop up.
All right. So look at Diamond Light Source. Diamond Light Source, the UK's National Synchrotron Science Facility in Oxfordshire. So Diamond Light Source is the UK's national synchrotron light source science facility located at the Harwell Science and Innovation Campus. Its purpose is to produce intense beams of light whose special characteristics are useful in many areas of scientific research. In particular, it can be used to investigate the structure and properties of a wide range of materials, from proteins and engineering components to conservation of archaeological artifacts. Okay. Now,
yeah, and just a note, when you hear those also are key terms to pay attention for. So you hear proteins. Proteins
is the envelope.
Right. So it can be used synonymously in some conversations to denote RNA, DNA research. So just be mindful. Like anytime you hear DNA or RNA, even if you're studying your own DNA and RNA.
We about to talk about how they deploy it. I already said that.
No.
No, I'm talking about somebody in the chat.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, no, you good. Go ahead.
Just in general, I'm just adding the cliff notes on your shit. Anytime you're studying DNA or RNA, you are also studying viruses at large, because viruses come in DNA or RNA. Like it's just that. There's just DNA, just RNA. So even when you're studying your own DNA and RNA, you're still learning a little bit about viruses, because the viral material is the same all around the globe for everyone. There you go.
So
no, you got to leave it up longer though when you put it up. You know what I'm saying? So people can read it.
So I'm not about to change it. So synchrotron.
Oh, I'm saying for the comments, like when you how you just posted that comment, you got to leave it up a bit. Oh, you must have did that by mistake. So when you take your mouse and you highlight one of the comments on the right side, that's how it comes up real big across the screen. So click, if you see a comment, you can click on it and it'll be real big on the screen. Like click on one of the comments just real quick. From the
yeah, I got
you. Yeah.
Got you. All right. So synchrotron, right? Diamond light source generates synchrotron light at wavelengths ranging from X-rays to the far infrared. This is also known as synchrotron radiation and is the electromagnetic radiation emitted by charged particles traveling near the speed of light. It is used in a huge variety of experiments to study the structure and behavior of many different types of matter. So this is how you're able to create an image based on when you make an image based on something that's on the nanometer scale, something that's so small you can't put under a microscope. You got to use light as the imagery. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play this for y'all. Let's see. Hold on. All right. So yeah, check this out, y'all.
The Electra Laboratory is located not very far from Trieste, on the Carso near the town of Bazovica. It was built to produce an exceptionally bright light, synchrotron radiation, a tool that enables researchers to detect structural details of materials otherwise invisible.
Hey, KT, can you turn it up louder?
In different fields. Let's have a look at the source of this light with such exceptional features. Everything starts in the booster that shoots electrons and accelerates them at extremely high energy. An electron source is located in the first part of the booster. Here, charged particles are admitted by a metal electrode using a principle similar to that operating in the cathode ray tube of a standard television set. The electrons are guided inside a thin, circular, high vacuum.
Hold on. Stop the tape. Stop.
No. Let them watch it.
Through intense electromagnetic fields.
What's the timestamp? We gotta break this down though.
We will let them watch it first.
The electrons are shot like cannonballs from the booster into the transfer line and finally injected into the storage ring, 260 meters long. Here they will circle for 24 hours without interruption, almost at the speed of light, and their energy will remain constant. During this time span, they will cover a distance equivalent to 4 times the diameter of the solar system. Synchrotron light is generated in the storage ring. The ring is, in fact, an alternation of straight and curved sections. In each curved section, a powerful magnet guides the electrons, forcing them to deviate from their path. Each time they deviate, the electrons emit energy in the form of light. The beams of light tangent to the storage ring are conveyed into the beam lines where the experiments are performed. Today, Electra has 23 operating beam lines, each specialized in a different field of measurement. This allows a broad variety of materials to be analyzed. The applications range widely from chemistry to biology, electronics, environmental science, materials engineering, medicine, nanotechnology, and archaeology. For example, the X-ray diffraction beamline allows us to study the structure of viruses and proteins by locating their atoms in space. Like all the other beamlines, the X-ray diffraction station includes various optical devices that select the needed wavelength and terminates with the experimental chamber where the sample is located. The light, in this case X-rays, interacts with the sample, for example, a protein, in a particular way, according to the position of the atoms. This phenomenon is called diffraction. The diffracted X-rays form an image that can be seen by means of a detector. This image contains all the structural information of the sample. Using a particular software based on the principles of physics and mathematics, the researchers are then able to uncover the three-dimensional structure of the protein, atom by atom. One of the applications is the design of new drugs.
Yeah. So let me turn my volume back down. I'm probably loud in the mug.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna let Inky wants to break down some pieces. I'm gonna let him go in on what he saw. I know he wants to elaborate on some of those.
No. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, because there was too much info in that video.
I know Inky head about to blow up, y'all.
There's so much in that video, but I know you put up the video for a specific purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what am I doing?
Showing us the live.
All right.
But no. Go ahead, break it down. So I'll come in after.
Well, I just wanted to show, because we're giving this background information so people can understand, like when we say a virus is mutated, like he mentioned before, a chimeric virus, when it's manipulated, we ain't saying that people are making viruses all the way from scratch. You're going to start from nature. You're going to start from what's already made. But in order to be able to manipulate a virus, you got to be able to know exactly how it's built, what all the structure is. And you just can't do that with a microscope, and the lenses and the light. So they have this particular synchrotron device so that they can be able to, in a sense, like just blow up something that's very small so they can see its exact components. And then they can, in the computer, they can manipulate it and make different versions of it. You know what I'm saying? So when you looked at those first parts of that synchrotron, that wasn't nothing but a TV, a LINAC, An old school TV cathode ray tube.
Wait, listen, replay the video real quick.
Hold on, a LINAC, which I talked about last week when I was talking about Alton Ochsner and Dr. Mary Sherman and that whole thing, a linear accelerator, and then a booster. You know, those are the mechanisms that are put together, and then it's just a big tube that ends up rotating around. We're going to come back to the animation. I wanted y'all to see that so you can follow the money. That synchrotron is the diamond light source. The diamond light source is one of the things funded by the Wellcome Trust. The Wellcome Trust is something that receives funds from Bill Gates and from matter of fact, the Purbright Institute, I think the queen over there in Europe owns 20% of it. So these are all their organizations. These are all of their experiments. These are all their technologies and everything like that. And the common denominator in everything that I'm showing y'all is the creation of viruses, and so that they can formulate vaccines. Now, I talked about Purbright. What I didn't talk about yet was Serco. Now, we got to understand, like when I just talked about the first part of the animation, which we're going to play again shortly. The beginning of that, it shows that it has like an electron gun. That's just a cathode ray. That's what your TVs were made out of. That's why it was a big box, because it was a cone-shaped device that sat in that part behind the TV, and that was the cathode ray. That was the electron gun. So then it has a linear accelerator that's able to accelerate the particular particles. And then you have a booster that boosts it even more and sends it into rotation. Now, remember, television is after motion pictures. Motion pictures is after the War of the Currents with Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, George Westinghouse, so forth and so on. When they ended up creating motion pictures, the next step was to be able to watch motion pictures at home. So they wanted to create televisions, and in that creation, you had the RCA that was formed around the same time as the Great Depression, and this is Radio Corporations of America. Radio Corporations of America, or RCA, as you know it, was headed by David Sarnoff. I don't even think I have him up here, but he's also on Wikipedia. You can pull him up. David Sarnoff. He was General David Sarnoff, and his predecessor was a lieutenant. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is all of the TVs, radios, and the technology at the turn of the century, all of those corporations were headed by the military. Okay, now RCA, even though it was Radio Corporations of America and David Sarnoff was a general, he was actually placed there by Britain. Okay, Britain is the reason for RCA, because right after he established, matter of fact, before he was RCA, he worked for the Marconi Company. And Giovanni Marconi is the cat who everybody feels stole all of Nikola Tesla's patents, but he was like a fall guy. But Marconi is the person that apparently had all of Nikola Tesla's patent. He had his own company, and Sarnoff went from his company, and they ended up forming RCA. 10 years after they formed RCA, they created a satellite company in Britain called RCA Limited, or Radio. Like, why would you have something called Radio Corporations of America and it's in Britain? But they had RCA Limited in Britain, and after they had that for a certain amount of time, they changed the name to Serco. So that's what you're looking at on your screen right now, this company, Serco. Now, if you scroll down on Serco and you look underneath what they do in science, look at what they say in science. Serco manages the UK's National Physical Laboratory until 2015 and also provides IT services, industrial support, and cryogenic operations support and maintenance at CERN. At CERN, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we are following the money, bro. This whole thing that we're dealing with right now is not no by chance operation. Y'all already know that. Y'all know it was something that was contrived and created. Y'all know about Event 201. Y'all know about coronavirus coronavirus associated pulmonary syndrome, also known as CAPS. That was the name of COVID in the Event 201 simulation that they did. You know, so this is all right in your face, bro. If y'all follow each one of these names and this information that I put you, you'll be able to follow the money and see who's behind all of this, what's really going on. This whole thing we dealing with has to deal with trade. It has to deal with natural resources. It has to deal with people trying to knock people out of, it's a trade war going on. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at a Marvel movie and the Avengers is fighting a villain, remember the people are in those buildings and in those streets where the buildings are falling and crumbling and the shit blowing up. You know what I'm saying? And then there's situations where technology is falling from the battle and shit, and little people are catching, they're snatching up crystals, they're grabbing guns and running home with them. So it's like the people are like the what do you call it? We in the stands. We watch the game.
But listen, there's another piece to it.
There's always another piece.
Click my screen down there. Let me show you this. There's some other slick little pieces to this thing here.
There you go.
All right. So the first thing that I hear when which is an incredible admission, because you don't really hear these types of this level of an admission ever. Like this really is. In fact, I gotta download that video, whatever that video is, whatever that video KT just, I gotta download that, because they say in the beginning of the video that the entire complex that you're looking at, when they're showing you their most advanced light technology, where they're able to use the whole program and duplicate the physiology of viruses by going, they show you that it comes from the cathode ray or the vacuum tube, which again, I always have to make sure I bring you guys back to this point, because this is the whole point of me, like literally just turning my camera and my mic off. Like, hold on, KT got it. This is what I've been trying to. This the whole point with the light, and even going into the OG in terms of Dr. Sebi teaching you that the body's electric. This is that entire conversation. So when you see some people telling you, "Oh yeah, well they don't know what they're talking about," well, okay, well the money says otherwise, because these are billion and trillion dollar facilities that are built based completely.
We're in a James Bond movie.
Man, I mean, this is completely based on this.
And what's his last name, Inky? Is it not Bond?
Now wait, hey, word is Bond. Wait, hold on. Now this right here, this shit right here. Now when I click over to this next page, this shit right here is the biggest monkey wrench in the whole game. Boop. What is this? So now you're talking about technology falling down, folks grabbing crystals. What is this?
Oh yeah. That just fell out of nowhere.
Why would this, like, what is happening right now? What are we really talking about right now? Like what is that? What is that?
There's a lot going on, bro. There's a lot going on. All right, so you want me to show that animation one last time before we go, because we about to hit that mark.
Go ahead. All
right, I'm gonna play it again.
No. You can go, keep going. Go back to your slides.
Okay, nah, that was pretty. Oh, okay, this is the last one right here, because somebody was saying, how is it delivered? So, remember Chris Lieber? Y'all look him up. He's the Harvard professor that was working with the Chinese. He's a professor at Harvard, but he's an expert in nanotechnology. So we have to understand that when you have businesses, corporations that's responsible for making the food for livestock, meaning they're feeding the livestock. And remember, when livestock eats, that food becomes flesh. And when you're talking about nano is a billionth of a meter, it's small as hell, bro. So it fits everywhere. So if you have nanotechnology, you can put the nanotechnology in feed. You can feed the animals. It ends up in the flesh. You eat the flesh. It ends up in you. So what you would do is you would get like a nanotube. You get a nanotube. You put the virus in the nanotube. You put water in the nanotube because the nanotube is so small that the water in it is going to create water surface tension on both ends of the nanotube. Water surface tension is what you see with water striders. You know, when you look at a pond or a lake and you see them insects and they skating around on the surface, that's the water tension. They're not going to break that. They're going to be on the surface of the water. Well, when you get to the nano scale, when you get to that underworld, if you fill a nanotube with water, the ends are going to have water tension, and that's almost synonymous with putting a lid or a cap on the end of the nanotube. You eat that, that's in your body. 5G, what happens when you put meat in a microwave? What's the first thing that happens when you put meat in a microwave, Inky? What texture is the meat that's cooked in a microwave?
Plastic and rubbery.
Rubber and plastic, which means what? That means the water is gone. So when we in front of the computer, when we're dealing with our devices, we are dehydrating ourselves. So if you got nanotubes with a water tension cap on it inside your body staying dormant and you hit 5G, that 5G is going to cook that water. Now the virus is released. So people want to know, how can it get released? It's already in you. You know, it probably was in all them damn Popeye chicken sandwiches. I'm just saying. So this is the article, Carbon Nanotube Device Snags and IDs Viruses. There's a whole thing about this. Okay, look up nanotechnology and see who's leading the world in nanotech. It's going to be USA and UK. Okay, we know that the stock market is crashing, but nanotech ain't crashing. Look up nanotech stocks and see how they're doing. So look at this paper. Look this paper up. This is from Penn State. All right. And this is them using nanotubes. They're saying in order to identify and capture viruses, but they can reverse this and use them as a Trojan horse to get the viruses inside of you as well. Because I don't think people understand how small a virus is. It's so small, it almost doesn't exist. You know?
Well, on the larger scale, once you start to play with the light, I mean, this is, again, and I can't just keep over and over saying, hey, everybody, watch the Soul Crap documentary. You done said it 1,000 times. This is like, you guys, this is all about information transfer. Right. So in essence, you are a big virus. So information can be uploaded and downloaded into you by playing with your lights, by playing with your light sources, This is why your ancestors perfected this science to a high extent. When we look at Sabi, I was talking about earlier how the court case, one of the things that people overlook in the Sabi court case was, because, you know, it was all about AIDS. You know, so people focus on the AIDS and they miss the piece on food, herbs being food, right? And a part of that part was the herbs being analyzed for mineral content. Mm-hmm. So when you look at the mineral content of some of these plants, that's when you really begin to understand, like, you guys really have to understand what your body being electric means. If you look at coronavirus, it takes on a whole nother view when you see your body really as electric, because you have to have that iron for the red blood cells. So you're dealing with people that can't breathe. So boom, we're talking about iron. You're talking about reversing charge. You say, what are you talking about? You can state that in terms of pH, right? So alkaline will be an electron donating source. Acid be an electron stealing source. Well, that's all what fills
accounts payable.
Boom, exactly, right? Back to the money, right? Accounts receivable and accounts payable. So when your lungs fill up with that fluid is actually an acid type of fluid because it's not allowing any electrons to be magnetized, right? Magnetized by the iron in the red blood cells. So this absolutely is a whole. So this is why I said there's a level of having a 5G conversation. Then there's an advanced level where you begin to take certain things into consideration. So we're talking about nanotubes sitting in fluid, right? So most of you just hear him saying nanotubes and fluid. But for the more study, you guys are going to immediately say, wait a minute, KT, because I know we have microtubules. Go ahead, keep talking. Right? So there's levels to being able to listen to the conversation and say,
because most viruses hide in the nervous system, do they not? Especially with herpes, where they hiding at?
Correct. Which is a huge family of viruses. And then when you're talking about the nervous system, you're talking about pigmented cells. So now you begin to talk about cytochrome. You immediately go, okay, pigment. Oh, okay. So respiratory. Oh, okay. So respiratory system is really about the movement of electricity. So if we're talking about charge movement in the body, we're talking. Oh, okay. So we know this.
We're talking about the Hall of Judgment.
Boom.
We're talking about weighing the heart against the feather.
Which is why immediately, as soon as they show the technology and they go cathode, and I immediately go
electricity versus magnetism.
Right. I immediately go Temple of Dendera. I immediately go.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's the cathode. That's the original cathode. But that's what I'm saying. They go to Kemet. They come back with all types of ideas. We go to Kemet and come back and just argue with each other.
Right. We come back. See, the mark of insanity for me was when people were willing to argue about the language of Kemet more so than the ideas and the facts and the science that was being communicated by the language. I'm like, wait a minute. You guys know that was a means to an end, the language part. Why aren't we talking about what else is like? This pyramid here is to concentrate electromagnetic radiation, and so why aren't we having that advanced conversation? And so I see the same thing going on with the coronavirus. I hope y'all took full advantage of some of the conversation that you got here today, because some of the very same names that you saw as he was going through his diatribe, relating what's going on with these institutions to the Rothschilds, I've already showed you guys with who funded, not only who actually got the study of microbiology introduced into colleges, but also who then turned around and funded. Now, this is where where the rubber really meets the road, because the Rothschilds are the guys who funded biosemiotics. So now, if you don't think that they got this technology from the Temple of Dendera, you better think again, because I'm giving you, when they say source, now you got clear context. So the funding of biosemiotics, just for those of you that don't know what biosemiotics means, biosemiotics is the study of encoding large amounts of information into pictures and being able to extrapolate that information at a later date from those pictures. And it was funded by the Rothschild family to extrapolate all of the science from what we see in the temples.
That's right.
So that they could turn around and use that science, because it was written there for all of the future generations. They went ahead, woo, and now we have a culture of with things, where things are getting crazy. And I know we rapping politics. If you're not in the politics game, you don't have a say in how technology is used. This is another reason why I'm saying You guys got to get in the game. You know what I'm saying? If you're tired of, you know, your local teachers complaining that it's 30 something, you got to go down to because it's the superintendents. You guys forget when we say local vote, we talking about your superintendents, the school program, the lunch program, the potholes, the policing, all that's at your local level. So anyway, hopefully y'all appreciated
we gave y'all more than enough this week to study. I'll be sending that video over to you unless you got it. You snatched. I don't know if you snatched it already. I know you quick. But I'll send that link over to you because I know you about to chop that thing up 30,000 million ways, boy.
Hey, it's already there. The people done seen it. It's video.
And it's called diamond light source. Remember, what is diamonds made from? It's carbon, bro. Like,
diamonds are made from vitamin C.
All right, man. I think it's time now. Okay. We want to thank all of y'all for joining us this week for the Ogun TV, Other Guys Universal Network. We will be back next week on Tuesday. Did you have any other closing thoughts or anything you needed to say before we X out?
Hey, listen.
You better hit them likes. I know that. By the time I end this broadcast, there better be a whole lot more thumbs going on.
Listen, vitamin C, they know vitamin C has vitamin carbon.
That's right.
Okay. So when I want people to be able to hear certain things in the back of their mind. See, sometimes I be joking, but I be serious.
No, you're not joking. You dead serious. You like vitamin C makes diamonds.
What? But not only that, I want people to hear Dr. Sabi's mind in the back. So when they hear these people come online and they say, "Oh, but you got to get vitamin C to fight this. Vitamin C, vitamin C, vitamin
carbon.
C to fight this." What they're saying is
alkaline carbon too, because all the OH is up on that molecule. So it's an alkaline carbon molecule.
Boom. So that's what they're actually hearing. So when you hear the news and all these people saying, "You got to go get the vitamin C, you got to get it," they're actually saying carbon,
alkaline carbon,
alkaline carbon. So that's why I'm saying there's a level to being able to hear some of this stuff. So anyway, y'all getting it.
Here we go. We'll be back at you next week. We'll definitely have some more fire up until then. We appreciate all your support. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Peace.